Welcome to I Said What I Said, a sports podcast giving you opinions not heard anywhere else. I'm your host, Brad Wakai, alongside my co-host, Tyson Gentry. Tyson, we're back in the saddle again, baby. Another NFL Week 10 preview. I guess another preview, as this is NFL Week 10, but it just feels like, I say it every week, but dude, I can't believe we're in double digits on the week now.
We're almost to the end, it feels like, which is, that's the way it works. We're out here, we're playing sick today, people. We're gonna get to money making time. We've had a good last couple. We got the momentum rolling here in the NFL, so we're gonna try to keep that going for you guys today, and then we're gonna break down as much games as we can before we have to tap out. Because after a while, man, I got the glasses on, so people are seeing what they're seeing twice.
It's like what is it? It's like when you screen share, and it's on the screen and it just
Right.
keeps like going. Yeah, dude, that's exactly what we're facing. But it's all right. That's all right. They want to see our beautiful faces twice. They can get that if you're watching on YouTube. So, Tyson, let's waste no more time, but let's jump right in. We got Colts Patriots. This is the second German game here. Early for those on the East Coast, even earlier for those in Tyson's time zone, over the Mountain Time, Central Time, and the West Coast. So, very interesting game. I'm hearing some things like if Belichick loses this game, he's going to be fired. Like, what? Where's this coming from?
Didn't he sign the under the table extension that everyone was pissed about 2 weeks ago, and now that's not like that doesn't play into this at all?
I don't know. Like, I was listening to some of these like NFL reporters, and they're like, dude, I don't know. Like, nobody's reporting this who actually is in the building. It's these internet like aggregate accounts. It's like Belichick's getting fired if he loses, and nobody knows where that's coming from.
Dude, why would you fire Bill Belichick in the middle of the season? Like, if you're Robert Kraft, it would be very Belichick like to just kind of kick him to the curb halfway through the year, as he's done to so many players and things like that throughout his tenure, not just in New England but everywhere else. Dude, he's not getting fired. He's not getting fired. And then I also think that they might be able to put up much better performance against the Colts this weekend than they've looked over the last couple of weeks. I mean, the offense is getting points. I was going to say getting better, but that's not really true. They're finishing drives, and Ramondre Stevenson is back to life. This one it's unfortunate, that you send Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce and Tua and the Dolphins over to Germany last week, and this week it's like, here you go. You can watch these guys.
Gardner Minshew versus Mac Jones. That's not exactly what you're hoping to sell for the NFL. But I agree with you. I think the Patriots actually could be a look here. Nobody handles these interesting, weird games like Bill Belichick. He's obviously a master in the Super Bowl and pressurized spots. And not that this is on that same plane, but I think when you go to Germany, it's a first-time head coach. Probably the look is the Patriots, and they're getting 1.5 here. So let's move on to 49ers Jaguars. Really big game. I think both these teams are coming off a bye. Niners lost 3 in a row before their bye. Jags went into this feeling pretty good, but now they're 3-point dogs at home, which is an interesting thought of like where the betting market sees this. Because as good as Jacksonville's been and how poor the Niners have been in the past couple of weeks or few weeks, on a neutral, they're saying Niners about 4.5 points better than this Jags team. I can see that. I think the Niners are a real look here, but and they're getting healthier. But I don't know, man. The Jags they just are performing extremely well when they need to this season.
Yeah, Jacksonville's good. And I'm looking forward to this one because if the Jaguars win, then it solidifies them as a contender in the AFC, and the 49ers will get no blowback after this one at all. But if it's flipped, then the Jaguars are dead and they were never real.
Yeah, of course. That's the way it goes, right? Saints, Vikings. Okay, so big games, I think, for different reasons, right? Like, Saints feel like they're kind of getting their mojo back, right? Like, they should be winning this division. They were massive favorites to do it. They're 5-4, so it doesn't look great, but it's a bad division. And on the flip side, the Vikings are now 5-4 as well, Tyson. They got juice. They got energy. Josh Dobbs is going to be the starter this week again. Probably going to be the starter for the rest of the way. What do you see? What do you see in this one?
Do you think that the clock strikes midnight? Like, isn't that kind of how this thing feels here for Minnesota? It's been awesome. It's been really fun. But look, dude, like Atlanta last week, that was malpractice for them to lose that game the way that they did. Dennis Allen and the Saints defense, for as much hate as I give New Orleans, they're much better. They're much better equipped, and they're going into it with a full week. Not that like, a ton of stuff was put on tape by Josh Dobbs in this Minnesota offense last week, but it's enough for a passable to good NFL defense to really be able to take advantage. Because what's going to happen? Josh Dobbs going to light you up for 40? Like that's not happening on his best day.
Yeah, it shouldn't happen on this defense either. Tyson, you actually just talked me into another bet. So stay tuned for Money Making Time. Literally, Tyson, as he was going through this, I'm adding that to my bet slip. So Titans at Bucs. Now, Will Levis was announced as a starter for the rest of the year over Ryan Tannehill. I think this is a great move for the Titans. One, the kid looks like he can play. I mean, he's got a big time arm. It just pops off the screen. I mean, he's flicking balls and they're going 60. We'll work on the accuracy. We'll figure things out. And that's why you put him in these situations. I think it's a great move for the Titans. How viable does that make them in games like this against the Bucs defense, who was shredded up last week, who's getting banged up and injured, but still has some pedigree? And 1.5 point favorites at home against this Titans team, Tyson. It just feels strange that this is where the Bucs have gone to.
And these are two teams that I can thoroughly say. We say every week, like, oh, we don't really know which teams are separating and which teams are kind of like going towards the bottom. These teams are going to stick right in the middle, baby. And they might pick at 10 and 11 in the draft, but they're not going to be bad enough where they're going to get embarrassed by Carolina or Chicago or somebody like that. But they're not quite good enough to really make the jump. And that's why I think the Will Levis move, like, what's the downside? What's the worst case scenario? Like, if he sucks, you would rather know that now. And if he's really good, you would rather know that now. So, like, I understand why Ryan Tannehill is, like, emotional and he's upset about losing his job, but it's just the way this thing works.
Yeah, it's the business. And I'd be pissed if I was him too. I mean, dude, nobody wants to be told you're fired, basically. Like, hey, man, we're moving on. And you can kind of see the writing on the wall, and it's been rumored that way for Tannehill for a while. At the end of the day, though, Tyson, if he was playing well, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Yeah, that's fair.
Browns at Ravens. This is going to be awesome. Two of the best defenses, the two best defenses in the NFL facing off against each other. Ravens on paper, and I think actually on the field, much better offense than what the Browns have shown. The Browns have been clunky. We're waiting to see things with Deshaun Watson. It seems like Amari Cooper's emerged as the number one there. Finally. David Njoku, finally living up to that hype that we have put on
first round.
This is a banger, a must see, because you want to know who's real in this division, who's not, who's real in the AFC, who's not. You got to watch this one.
I don't know if this one tells us anything, because this is just an NFC North or AFC North divisional game where, like, it's going to get really sloppy. I think you can almost like map this thing out the way these always work. I think the Ravens probably get up to a 17-3 lead early, and then you're kind of kicking your feet up if you're a Ravens better. And then halfway through the third quarter, you're going to look up, and all of a sudden it's 17-13, and the Browns have the ball, and you're confused at what's going on. These games are awesome. I just look, the two best athletes probably in the NFL, at least like the two most special, I think, might be Lamar Jackson and Myles Garrett. And they're going to be on the field at the same time for the better half of the game on Sunday. So I'm excited for that one. But it's tough to look at these AFC North games and be like, we're going to learn a lot about one of these teams, because just weird shit happens every time.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. There is the AFC North voodoo that always seems to happen. So, yeah, that's a good point. Texans at Bengals. Now, T. Higgins, after a monster game last week, has already been ruled out with a hamstring injury. Jamar Chase was in street clothes in practice. He may miss this game. Texans coming off a huge victory. Just an amazing victory against the Bucs. CJ Stroud looks like he belongs. This ain't the Bucs defense anymore, brother. This is Lou Anarumo. This is the Bengals who are starting to play better. And on the flip side, it's Joe Burrow, who will absolutely dissect this defense if they play zone all night.
Yeah, this is a completely different class than what Houston's been dealing with. Like, we're all head over heels for CJ Stroud right now because he just threw for 1 billion yards and had the best game a rookie's ever had, and all that stuff was awesome. But also off the bye, they scored 10 points on offense or 13 points on offense against the Carolina Panthers defense. We just watched Tyson Bagent, play fine enough to get a win against. So it's the NFL, and there's ups and downs. He's not doing that 2 weeks in a row, and the Bengals are firmly finding their footing and kind of getting ready to run away with like the negative connotation from the early part of the season, it feels like.
Yeah, and how about T. Higgins announced out, Jamar Chase might miss this game. They're still 6.5 point favorites. That's what a quarterback does.
Do you see Jamar Chase said he sleeps in a hyperbaric chamber every night?
No, I didn't.
Like, why?
He's not LeBron, bro.
I guess. I think he must be into anime or something.
Packers at Steelers. If you want to know what game you don't have to watch, this one's going to be ugly. It may set football back by a decade because
Well,
these
this
two
is a mirror
offenses
matchup,
are
baby.
atrocious. What's that?
It's a mirror matchup.
It's like the exact same team. Quarterbacks we're wondering about. Defense is pretty good, This is gross. You got the Steelers 3-point home favorites. Probably should be there. Are they a point and a half better than the Packers on a neutral? Probably, because their defense is better. I want no part of this game. I don't even want to watch this game.
Oh, I'm excited for this one. This is going to be sloppy, and it's going to be a nice way to just kind of. You ever watch games just because there's nothing else that you like? You can't be bothered to change it, so you're just going to sit there and watch this shitty game. Luckily, we're Eagles fans, so we got a bye week this week. Red Zone's going to be popping, so we're not going to be subject to it. If the fourth quarter comes and the Steelers are losing, Kenny Pickett will find a way to win this game. That's all I really know.
Well, Tyson, in the New York area here, we get Jets and Giants for the local. So yes, I've seen some trash, and it's like, dude, I can't change it. It's on the big screen. Man, this is tough to look away from. It's like a car crash. You can't help yourself but look. Falcons at Cardinals. Okay, so the big news here: Kyler Murray's making his return. This is a good Falcons defense. Contrary to what they put on tape last week, this is a better defense in the NFL. Is this smart to have Kyler Murray coming back this week? Eventually, you're going to have to make your return. But what do you think about the fact that he's coming back now for Arizona?
I don't have any problem with now as the timing. I think it was weird kind of how in the dark everyone was until about 10 days ago when it became fairly clear that Kyler was going to be back like right away, because it almost was like, all right, they activated his window, but at the end of that 21 days, he might just still not be playing because they're bad, and they're gonna stay bad with Kyler Murray at quarterback here. He's not going to walk in and flip the entire NFL on its head. Atlanta has to get this one. They have to win this game. If they don't win this game, it is, wheels are off. There's a hole in the boat, like jump ship.
Taylor Heineke in the presser said they're viewing this as their Super Bowl, dude. The Cardinals, you're viewing a game against the Arizona Cardinals as your Super Bowl. If they don't win this game, I mean, just send this franchise to St. Louis.
You think you send them right back, or you send them over to St. Louis? But then those poor Atlanta Falcons fans, man, they didn't do anything wrong. They're still showing up to the games. They just get treated to this every week. Do you see that?
No, you're right.
Arthur Smith came out and said that Tyler Algier is going to keep goal line work. It's just another little. I know what I'm doing. Just another little. I'm smarter than you guys.
I'm so done with that guy, man. Once he gets canned, and we don't root for anybody to get fired here. Like, honestly, we don't. Like, we just talk about the reality of situations. When he gets fired, because he is going to be fired. Like, there's no way around it. He's going to have. I don't even know if anybody hires him as OC, Tyson. The way he's conducted himself, I don't know about that.
Yeah, it could be a what is it, special analyst or whatever. These guys just kind of get jobs to be like periphery, like they're just kind of around the team.
Maybe he goes to college, because the way he's being an ass about everything, that has college coach written all over it.
It would work too.
Lions at Chargers. This is going to be an awesome game. Chargers have to win. Like, we're in the situation, we're in the spot now for the Chargers. Like, if they want to become playoff contenders, they are 4-4. They have to win these games. You can't go through the schedule in the AFC and go 8-9, 9-8, and expect to be in the playoffs. Lions on the flip side, they have an opportunity, Tyson. I think, again, to make a statement like, no, this isn't same old Detroit. We're here.
It kind of feels like this is the game that the Chargers just forget to get off the bus for, though, doesn't it? It just feels like this is the part of the season where it's just like they send it in, they just mail it in, and it's like, dude, we're barely over halfway done with this thing. What are you guys doing?
They're at home too, so they just forget to show up to the stadium.
I think, I mean, we're joking around a little bit, but it is the Chargers are going to Charger at some point this year. Maybe I'm just talking because I still am holding on to some hope for that under 8.5 bet for their season long win total here. If the Lions are real, there's not a top level AFC or NFC team that's going to struggle with the Los Angeles Chargers, especially on the road. Like, you get a super boost, you get like a video game buff when you walk into that stadium.
Giants at Cowboys. My God, folks. This one, I said earlier that you don't need to watch Packers and Steelers. I mean, Giants, Cowboys. Cowboys are 17.5-point favorites in an NFL game. This is unheard of. Daniel Jones, torn ACL. Tommy DeVito is going to be the starter going forward, which makes sense. Like, do a soft tank here. Like, there's no point. Just see if you can get another QB. But my goodness, this is going to be hard to watch. And you know what, Tyson? I'm going to have the privilege of being able to watch this in our local market.
I don't know if this is a soft tank. I think this is there's what are they going to keep even at the end of this thing? They got to tear it all down. It would have been fantastic, hindsight's 2020, but sometimes when your star running back asks for a trade and you don't want to trade him, it might be in your best interest to get whatever you can, because what's going to happen? The rest of the year, they're going to give Saquon the ball 40 times a game. Nobody else is going to want him at the end of this year, and we're right back in it. They're fighting hard for the number one pick, and I think that's something you can take some solace in if you're a Giants fan. Dallas has found a way in the past to make these games close when they're favored by this much, but that's because it's the NFL. I have no illusions that Tommy DeVito is going to dominate and win a football game here.
Yeah, no, especially against this defense. Oh, my God. Commanders at Seahawks. Seahawks need a bounce back, and this is an opportunity for them to do that, Tyson, because they're playing a Commanders team who's got to travel across the country, and now Seahawks are going back themselves back to Seattle. But if the Seahawks want to pretend that they're contenders or are contenders, this is a game that they have to win and have to dominate.
They got to win this going away. It kind of feels like with the way I said it's a clock going to strike midnight, but it kind of feels like Gino's the one that turned back into a pumpkin, huh?
Yeah.
Like this is not the same. And even like Ken Walker started the year fantastic, crushing people. He's blowing everybody up. Everybody that likes Ken Walker was kind of victory lapping. We told you Zach Charbonnet wasn't going to take over. And now it's kind of like it's been a 50-50 split. A lot of that's game script and the fact that Ken Walker's been banged up. But he was dragging the offense, along for the first 3 or 4 weeks before everyone kind of realized, oh, this Seahawks offense isn't as good as it was a year ago. That run game disappears, and now it's becoming pretty evident, like paper tiger when they were leading the division there. And they might be for real if that defense, looks as it has besides that Ravens game last week. I don't think this is the spot where we're going to find out. Like Sam Howell on the road coming in here, it's not going to be beat Joe Burrow, beat somebody like that, and that's when we get excited, and that's what happened. And now we're not.
Yeah. So I believe Zach Charbonnet is outsnapped Ken Walker.
That's 2 weeks, I think.
2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
So what do you know? Maybe old Brad and Tyson may know a little something about drafts.
I wasn't even trying to victory lap either. I was just saying.
I'll take that. Everybody told us we were idiots. Well, what do you know? Jets at Raiders. We have the privilege and the opportunity to watch this in prime time. Jets at Raiders. Zach Wilson versus Aiden O'Connell. That's what you're going to tell your grandkids about, folks. This is what you need to tune into. Jets are 1-point favorites on the road. I think that's fair with this defense, to be honest. Now, Raiders, it seems like they're starting to actually build a home field advantage in Vegas. Like, that place actually goes nuts. Unlike LA, where nobody cares, and you have every single away team have more fans there than the Rams and Chargers. It doesn't feel like that for Vegas, but I think the Jets are going to have the advantage crowd-wise here.
Oh, I don't know how much that's going to matter. Like, it's Aiden O'Connell, and he's looked really good, actually, I think, for kind of what he's been asked to do in his 2 starts here in the NFL. This Jets defense is not the same as, you were treated to, especially last week with all the adrenaline and everybody's hyped up. You're playing for an interim coach, and, it's screw Josh McDaniels, and we always knew we were this good and everything. But I will say, if AP Antonio Pierce comes out, wins another game here,
dude,
it's going to get really fun because nobody in the world is going to be able to tell that guy anything.
I love Antonio Pierce. I'm rooting for him. I was telling my brother, I wish that he played a game for the Raiders so I could buy an Antonio Pierce Raiders jersey. Tyson, I can't believe I'm saying this. I love this guy even when he was playing on the Giants. Like, I hated him, but I respected him,
There's a certain level of psycho that just kind of gets through everything else as far as how much you can hate one team, and you're like, you know what, I kind of like that freaking guy.
The other thing is, too, apparently they're taking a real look at Antonio Pierce to be their head coach.
They should.
And so I'd agree, because Tyson, I think what we've seen, the media just has their idea of who should be an NFL head coach, right? Like, it should be the Shanahans, it should be the McVays.
Yeah,
they're really smart.
They don't look like Antonio Pierce. That is for sure.
And the thing is, remember, everybody made fun of Dan Campbell. Like, whoa, look at what he's saying. Well, you know who's doing really well right now? A football guy. That's what Dan Campbell is, a football guy. He's a leader. If Antonio Pierce can right this ship and like they start performing better, why the hell would you not hire that guy to be your head coach? That's what the Raiders think. They've gotten way too into what they think should be their head coach. Like Gruden, oh, we need to go get a big one. Then McDaniels. This may be the right guy if they can turn this around.
It couldn't be worse. Like it can't
True.
be scandal on the Gruden level or rip the whole thing down to shreds like it was with McDaniel. So I say run it. Like what's the harm?
Okay, last one here. Last one of our previews. Broncos at Bills. Just another treat that we get to watch on Monday night. Broncos coming off a bye have performed better. They beat the Chiefs. Let's not forget.
Who cares?
Going into the bye week. I know Mahomes had the flu. If Mahomes blows them out with the flu, we're looking at that as a Jordan flu game. I mean, you know how it works with this guy. But Broncos beat the Chiefs. Well, it doesn't matter if Mahomes had the flu. All right. But this is what I'm intrigued about. Bills, which we pointed out, since Matt Milano's gone down, their defense has been bottom third of the NFL. Can the Broncos take advantage of that? That's going to be the key here.
Probably not. I mean, in all reality, probably not. It would be nice. Javonte Williams is like quietly back. Like if he wasn't hurt earlier in his career, I think people would be much more excited about where he's at right now. Problem is he misses 4 games every 5 weeks. So it's understandable people aren't really paying attention. I don't know. Like this Broncos passing offense is so much better than it was last year. And I don't think it's good enough to take advantage of what the Bills are really, bad at, because it's Cortland on the sideline, right? Or it's Jerry Jeudy to the back left pylon, or, they're not like, where can Russell Wilson not throw the football in his entire career? And that's kind of where Buffalo has been getting shredded here right over the middle. If the Bills lose this game, it is break glass. You're smashing the panic button here.
Oh, big time. I mean, and I like Sean McDermott. If they lose this game, we may be looking at new head coaches up in Buffalo. I mean, just this would be the point in time where, like, guys, it ain't working anymore. We got to make some changes. Okay, that's going to do it for our NFL Week 10 preview, Tyson. Let's get into Money Making Time. And before we do that, you know how we do it, folks. Come on. We're transparent here. We don't shy away from anything. And why we shy away from it? We had a pretty good week. I went 3-2. Raiders play of the week, got home. Raiders -1.5 play of the week, it got home easily. Tyreek Hill over 6.5 receptions. Finally hit a prop bet. That was nice. Eagles -3. My God, was that sweaty. That got home. How about the Falcons? I got reverse CLV, so I should have seen this. I thought for sure with Jaron Hall announced as a quarterback that this thing would get up to 5-6-ish. No, it went the other way on me, and probably rightly so. I mean, Falcons -4.5, horrible. And then the Panthers, geez, again,
Unreal.
the Colts have given up 3 straight weeks of 30-plus points, and they can't score over. Oh, it's horrible. So 3-2 for me, Tyson, making me 0.52 units in the positive.
We'll take that. That's a win for us. I went 3-1 this week. My play we were very similar this week, so it was we're right on the edge between having a really good week and bad week. So I had to play the week. Eagles -3. I had the Raiders -1.5 as well. One of those was really easy. One of those was not so much fun. I'll let you figure that out. Rams and Packers under 38.5. I knew this was hitting about 3 minutes into the first quarter. It was like, these teams are not scoring enough points here. And then the Falcons, I took it -3.5 because I'm way smarter than Brad, and I let the number come down. Yeah. And then they lost outright. So,
yeah,
we just can't we can't go perfect here. I don't know what it is this year.
No, we can't. And like, I thought I was getting ahead of the number, and clearly that backfired. So Tyson waited it out, got the better number, and it didn't matter for either of us. How about that? So, Tyson was up 1.65 units on the week. He is now positive on the season, folks. We're doing well. 0.44, nothing to write home about, but positive. NFL's tough to beat. I'm down only 0.3 units. So the podcast is up 0.14. So we're in the positive here. We only had really one bad week, which is in week 2. We got absolutely slaughtered. I mean, and that's what killed us, because the rest of the time we haven't lost over a single unit. So I think we're starting to figure some things out, Tyson. We didn't like this week, but let's jump into it. I now have 5 plays because you talked me into one when we were going through our breakdown. How many do you have?
I have 4.
Okay, sweet. So I'll start it off. I'll start it off with the one you talked me into.
Yes.
And I don't think necessarily that this should come as a surprise now. I mean, the way Tyson broke it down. Clock's hitting midnight, folks. We love the Josh Dobbs things. It was sweet. Saints money line. This is a game they should win. Legitimately, this is a game they should go on the road. Derek Carr, he's not great at handling the blitz, I will say. So that concerns me. And that's what the Vikings are going to do. But this wide receiving unit and these weapons should absolutely torch the back end of the Vikings. And on the flip side, this is a good Saints defense. They should be able to put up and handle what the offense is that comes out of Josh Dobbs. So give me Saints money line at minus 154.
I like that I talked you into that because I don't even have that one in my own bet slip, but I do have a play from this game, Brad. I have the under here at 40.5 points. I have lost one under on the New Orleans Saints this year, and I got smoked. It wasn't even close. I don't think that that's how this game's going to go. You mentioned, Derek Carr doesn't handle the blitz very well. That's going to be basically all he's going to see on Sunday. I think it's a lot of checkdowns for you of fantasy football players that were a little upset, you DFSers that had Alvin in your team last week. They weren't always there. And this week it's going to be a lot of checkdowns, a lot of field goals. I'm taking the under 40.5. Anytime the number gets over 40 and the New Orleans Saints are in the football game, principal play.
Yeah, that's it doesn't feel like there'll be that many points in this one, right? I mean,
I hope
know the Vikings put up a ton. It doesn't feel like we're going to see some fireworks. So all right. I'm hoping we get going. Tyson, I'm scared of this one, I will say, just because this offense has been atrocious, but I have to take the Cleveland Browns plus 6.5. I have to do it. 1, it's a low total game, so I want the points here. 2, divisional matchup, their familiarity with each other. And 3, when you have really good defenses, I think it's going to limit the amount of possessions, or at least limit the opportunities for the other team to score, obviously. But the reason why I want to do that here is I think we're going to see a lot of ball and play with how the Ravens operate, rushing the ball, throwing across the middle. And the Browns, similarly, they want to run. They want to have easy completions. I think this is going to be one of the fewest amount of possession games on the docket. So I'm going to take the Browns plus 6.5. I think it's too many points.
It just feels like this is a field goal either way, like whenever these guys get together. So that's not a bad bet. But, Brad, I'm sick of kind of treading water here. I'm sick of just sitting right around the line of even or losing money here. I'm going with Jake Ferguson to score a touchdown and the Dallas Cowboys to win the game at plus 240. I've given out a couple of the plus money ones here, and I haven't always been good to you people. Some of them have been all right. We've got a first touchdown score home and things like that. This is the only way I can see to like stomach a bet on this football game because I will be shocked if Dallas does not win this game. But 17.5 is too many points. It's too many points for me to bet. And on the flip side, it kind of feels like the Giants might lose by 40. So I don't want to take them to cover that 17.5 number. Jake Ferguson's been balling. Jake Ferguson's been finding the end zone early in games. And I think that this is just another case of that. Who is going to guard any of these people? Like Jeremy Pinnock is going to be running around the field covering CeeDee Lamb and Gallup and Ferguson and trying. It's a bad matchup.
Yeah, I like that you can attack that game for some value there. Plus 240. Let's hope that gets home. That'd be great for us. Tyson, I can't believe I'm doing this. I think I have a sickness because I kept betting them for like the past 2 years and they always screwed me and I can't stop. No matter how critical I've been of Arthur Smith, I have to take the Falcons money line here. I have to. Kyler Murray's coming back. The dude hasn't played since December. I watched him tear his ACL. That was a long time ago. I mean, he's coming out and he's supposed to beat a team. I mean, people were picking the Falcons to freaking win this division. And now you're going to tell me, the line's 1.5. You're going to freaking tell me that the Falcons are only 3 points better on a neutral than the team that was projected preseason to be the worst team in the NFL and win 3 games. I don't buy it. Falcons need to win this. This defense is atrocious. James Conner isn't back. I don't care that Kyler Murray's back. Give me Falcons money line minus 120.
I am one of those dumb people that took the Falcons to win the NFC South, and I am not. I don't even have the guts to pick them to win this football game here. So, I'm liking the fire you got here, Brad. And I'm going with another little bit of a plus money play here. I'm taking the Jacksonville Jaguars to just straight up win the game. San Francisco 49ers going on the road to Jacksonville. I really thought about the points. I don't want to end on a push here with 3. We do these typically fairly late in the week, so we can get okay number, but like it's tough because it seems like whenever we roll around to do these, the hook is gone, right? We're just sitting on the numbers here, and I don't want to mess around with that. I think Jacksonville is certainly good enough to win the game. And so I'm going to take home dogs as much as I can. That's kind of one of the lessons I'm learning this NFL season, at least, is that when it's a field goal spread, I'm just taking the home team to win.
Seahawks minus 5.5. I talked about their need to bounce back here. I think this is an opportunity, a get right game against this secondary for Geno Smith to really go off. Like this could be the one we're looking at. Like, oh, that's right, we do think Geno's like kind of good. On the flip side, if this Seahawks defense is as good as we think it is, or as good as
they should win, they should cover the spread by themselves.
They should absolutely smoke this Commanders offense. So Tyson, 4 points? Really? Seahawks only 4 points better than the Commanders on a neutral? I don't buy it. Give me Seahawks minus 5.5.
You've watched enough Sam Howell this year to know that anything is possible, my friend.
Dude, I'm into him, man. I'm into the Howell experience. It's a roller coaster.
My play of the week here, Brad. If you've noticed a theme through this point in the season, that's because there definitely is one. I'm taking the under 38.5 in the Green Bay Packers and Pittsburgh Steelers game. I'm not scared. 21-17 and I'm fine. That feels like high-end kind of output for both these offenses. The only thing that scares me is maybe, TJ Watt just decides, screw this, I'm scoring 10 points by myself for my team, and Pittsburgh is going to put up enough points to cover this number. I don't have to worry about the Packers in the first half, and I don't really have to worry about the Steelers offense till the fourth quarter outside of the first drive. So I think I'm feeling all right.
I don't have the balls to play it because it's so low. Dude, this is you've been playing these Packers unders. I think there's an angle here, and I think I might be an idiot for not jumping on the train with you because this offense is just not explosive. Man.
It's printing.
It's printing. It's crazy. My play of the week, Tyson. I'm doing the same game as you. Cowboys team total over 27.5, or I guess same angle. So 1, let's get a touchdown with Jake Ferguson, please. 2, how many possessions are the Cowboys going to have? Because I can't picture seeing Tommy DeVito starting to shred this defense up. Like that, I don't see that at all. So we're going to have a ton of possessions. We're probably going to be in favorable field positions. And the Cowboys, man, they want to take some anger out. Why not beat the shit out of the New York Giants?
What do you think is more likely? Do you think that the Cowboys defense can score more points than the Giants offense, or the Giants offense puts up double digits?
Oh man. More likely, I think Giants could put up double digits. What do I think?
Do I think about it is ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Do I think that's going to happen? Absolutely not. Like if I was going to make a bet, I would bet on the defense because this Giants offense is horrible. But I think more likely I got to take the offense. Maybe I'm wrong.
It's so bad.
It is atrocious. But that's going to do it, man. That is it for us. Our NFL Week 10 preview, our Money Making Time. Tyson, if we have other bets that we like, props, anything like that, where can they find them?
They will be in the Chalkboard app. It's an app you can download in the App Store, Google Play, wherever you download your apps. And we're throwing picks in there from every sport that you can imagine. The group name is ISWIS presents the Roundtable Bets. Just type any of those words in, basically hit the group. We'll let you write in. It's free. It's a big sports weekend, Brad. I'll give out just a couple real quick ones before we get too far gone. I think that Alex Bray is going to win this weekend by knockout over Yuri Prohaska. Yuri is amazing. He averages over 5 strikes a minute. Problem is he also absorbs over 5 strikes a minute. That's a dangerous game to play with Alex Pereira. And then the Tom Aspinall and Pavlovich fight is going to be fantastic. I think I'm going to have to take Big Pav by KO too. It just feels like maybe you're running into a buzzsaw here if you're Tommy Aspinall.
Ooh, all right. I'm definitely taking Pereira knockout. You talked me into that. I like that. I
love Yuri. Yuri can do, it'll be some weird spinning kick that we've never seen because he's an Eastern European samurai and he doesn't make any sense. But if you're telling me you're going to let somebody hit you 5 times a minute and that dude happens to be Alex Bray, you're in big trouble.
Yeah, that doesn't sound fun. So I'm gonna ride that with you. I'm locking that in. Like Tyson said, you can find all those picks, anything else we're playing in the chalkboard. Link is in the description. In the meantime, like, subscribe, and share the show. Follow us on our socials, X, Instagram, TikTok. The handle is all the same at ISWIS_pod. Tyson, we got a huge week in the football. We're going to be back next week breaking everything down that we just saw in the NFL. We're getting the nut cutting time, man. Like, teams got to put up or shut up, and we're going to have it all broken down for you next week. So we'll speak to you then. Enjoy your weekend. Till then, guys. Peace.